You need to make $5,000 fast. So instead of borrowing money or using your overdraft, I'm gonna explain step by step how to generate $5,000 in just 7 days from now. And what I really like about this method is that even if you're brand new, even if you've been running a business for a long time, you can use this method to hit 4 to 5 figures this week to your bank account. And if you can do it once, you can do it again and again. Now, you might think that there's some kind of catch, like I'm just gonna tell you to spend a lot of money on ads, or that this is only for people with an existing business or a huge audience. But the reality is that this method works even if you're starting from scratch, even if you have no business, no email list, and no audience. And I've personally used this method to make $54,000 so far this year, and we're only halfway through the year. So I'm just gonna leave you this video right here that you can go and check out, which is exactly explaining the full strategy on how I made $54,000 with a $27 digital product. Okay, and I've taught this method to my clients that struggle with either cash flow or getting started or making fast sales, probably just like you. So now I'm gonna share with you completely for free. Now let's start with a highly adaptable part of the process that changes how you make money, right? And especially if you hate selling or you feel awkward closing, right? This will flip the game upside down. Now, if you ever felt like overwhelmed about what to sell, right? Whether it is a course, a service, a product, this will bring clarity, right? Because here's the truth. Making money only requires 3 things: having an audience, having money, or having time. Now, you can use money to run ads and outsource content. You can use an existing audience if you already have one. Now, I'm gonna assume that you don't have tens of thousands to spend on paid traffic. I'm gonna assume that you don't have a huge audience yet. But what you have is some time. However, we want to get paid within a week. So we actually don't have a massive amount of time, which is why it's critical that we focus on the right areas, right? So I'm going to talk about the bucket analogy, right? So when it comes to making money, most people feel that making money online or selling is broken into these general categories, right? Which is product, niche, messaging, ad or traffic, sales closing, and pricing. Now, if we're starting out and you only had 7 days where you put most of your time and energy, keeping in mind that our goal is to do 5K in 7 days, and obviously we want to have a decent profit margins. If we pretend that these are 6 buckets and you can only fill 2 of them with water, if you had to make 5K quickly, which 2 buckets would you fill? Most people would fill product and traffic. And we can imagine that in order to make a lot of money online and sell stuff, 80% of the effort is within these areas, right? In product or traffic. Now we think of other buckets like niche or messaging, we consider them secondary tasks that aren't that priority, right? And the problem is that seeing your sales journey as product and traffic as most of the effort is completely wrong. And it's not your fault, because that's what you've been taught over and over. Because gurus love to teach about product creation, right? They love to talk about new services and new offers. And you might feel that your time, if you only had 7 days, was best spent choosing what product to sell. But this is actually what stops people from making money with their business. And I can understand why, because you've got so many new apps and platforms being released all the time, right? You see so many people being successful in all these different niches and all these different ways to make money. And it can be overwhelming knowing what to do and what to sell. But this is entirely the wrong mindset and you're focusing on the wrong thing, right? Now, let me talk about a real example of one of my clients, right? Daniel, which is one of my clients, runs a marketing agency in Austin, and he helps real estate agents book more appointments with using ads, right? He charges $2,500 per month. He has great results, but he's stuck. And he just burned nearly 7K on a campaign that didn't convert. Ads flopped, leads were cold, and cash flow was tight. He needed to make $10,000 that week, right? Or he had to let go one of his contractors. Now the real problem, right, is that he focused on the product. And is the product important? Absolutely it is, yes. But if you can identify a target customer with a burning hot problem and sell your product to them for a high price, well, you're just okay. That's not 2 ways about it, right? So what I told him to do was to go out to people, message them on IG, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, school, whatever you like, and make a claim, presenting a compelling sales angle. And if you do that, like I'll show you in this video, you're gonna make $5,000 in the next 7 days, right? So now let's talk about the 2 correct buckets, which is niche and messaging. If you come back to our buckets, this is incorrect. Worrying about the product and the traffic is fundamentally wrong. So instead, the number 1 thing you need to work on is the niche, and the number 2 thing you need to work on is messaging. Now, when we find a group of people who have a problem that is costing them $5,000, the money is not in the product or the solution, it's in the people, especially if those people have an expensive problem. So I want you to forget about the product and the offer and the delivery for now, and instead I want us to pour all of our efforts into finding the people with the problem bucket and giving them a compelling sales argument, because closing and selling are going to be way easier when you're marketing the right offer to the right people. Now, here's what I told my clients. Find communities on Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram School, research problems people are struggling with, make compelling claim, message people, do you have, and insert the problem, and use your sales argument and offer them a call. If they say yes, book the call, close the deal, and deliver after. Now, pro tip, if you can find communities for your niche, it's probably because it's too small or doesn't exist. So go back to the drawing board, think about another niche and another problem, because we need to find people here with problems that we can solve that are costing them more than $5,000, right? But that raises the question, and I get asked this all the time, how do you know what problems are worth $5,000 to people? Well, this is the part that unleashes the ability for you to sell pretty much anything to anyone. So please, I want you to use what I'm about to share ethically. And if you can understand this, you will never have to worry about making sales ever again. And even better than that, if you hate selling or you feel uncomfortable selling and like closing, man, this is going to be the best method that I know in order to sell things and make money without actually having to sell. It basically gets the customer to ask to buy from you, because the method makes it logical not to buy from you. So it makes saying yes a no-brainer for everyone. But again, please, I'll say this one more time. Use this ethically, okay? Now, how to price your offer logically. Now, here's the framework that makes saying yes a no-brainer for buyers. And I want you to use this ethically because it's really powerful. For example, let's say you work with marketing agencies that offer 2,500 monthly retainers. And if you're charging $5,000, you don't need to help them find 10 new clients. You just need to help them land 2 clients they've been missing out due to a weak outbound system, poorly qualification, or broken sales process, right? And those clients are worth $5,000 in the first month alone, and much more if they stick around. That means the problem you're solving is easily costing them $5,000 or even more per month. So your job is to identify the bottleneck, calculate how much it's costing them not to fix it, and then you say, I can solve this for you. I'll help you fix your outbound system so you can land 2 to 3 qualified clients in the next 30 days. And when you frame it that way, a $5,000 fix for a $15,000 problem, the math speaks for itself. The decision becomes logical and not emotional. Now, there are 4 sales levers, which is the first one is cost. How much is the problem costing them? 2, which is make. How much can they earn from solving it? Keep. How much they are losing via churn? And 4, missing. What are they leaving on the table? Alright, so I'm going to tell you a few examples so that you can understand this better. When it comes to make, if you help someone find 5 clients worth $1,000 each, you can charge $1,000 to help them do that, because they're making $5,000. So it becomes logical to pay $1,000 just to solve that. When it comes to keep, if we help a gym or a SaaS keep 10 clients at $100 per month, that's $1,000 per month saved, right? When it comes to missing, if we fix a broken funnel and we help them close one $5,000 client that they're missing, then it becomes logical, right? And when it comes to the cost, let's say that a CEO's time is worth $1,000 per hour. If we got 2 useless meetings, that equals $24,000 yearly saved. So you can charge $5,000, right? Because it's logical. Now, how to frame it? You can go out there and say, look, your calendar is empty because your funnel is broken, your offer is blurred, your angle is weak, and your follow-up is not existent. I guarantee I bring you lots of qualified calls, and I'm not charging $20,000. Just $5,000 to unlock what could easily bring you $30,000 to $50,000 in new clients over the next 90 days. And that's a $5,000 fix for a $15,000 problem. No hard sell required. Because you're fixing them a $15,000 problem, so charging $5,000, it becomes logical. Now you might be thinking, alright, so how do I actually get people to buy from you? Now, you might be thinking the next step is to go build a product to sell, right? But that's wrong. That's actually one of the worst things you can do, because people get excited about creating and they spend weeks or even months building a product course. And when it's finally done and they try to sell it, then crickets, no one buys. Now let me know in the comments if that ever happened to you, because it's more common than you think. Now, the smarter way to do it is sell first and build after. So start by getting a sale, get paid before you build anything. And how do you do that? You can offer one-on-one coaching or consulting based on the problem you help, and then deliver it live. A pro tip is that you can record your session, take notes, listen to the questions they ask, and you can use all that to build your product after you're already being paid. And this way, you're not guessing what to build, you're building exactly what people really already asking for. Now you've got a real offer built around a real person and not a hypothetically ideal customer. And if you're still wondering how much should I charge, what do I say on a sales call, how do I get people to actually buy? If that's you, drop a comment or DM me a message on my IG that you can find here or down below this video in the description, and I'll point you in the right direction. And if you want this full document with the whole breakdown, DM me the word blueprint on IG and I'll send it through. So that was pretty much everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you had any ideas for new videos, just drop it in the comments down below. And down below in the description section, you'll see a link where I tell you how I can actually help you get more clients for your consulting, coaching, or agency business. So if you're curious to know how I can help you get more clients, just click the link below and you go to a landing page and you can see all that, and I'll explain all that there, right? So I hope you enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.